Hi, I'm Danny Knightmare, and as you can see, I like cool stuff, and I like cool t-shirts. And that's why today's episode is brought to you by the Etsy shop t-shirts and stuff. And if you got a dark side like myself, I recommend the Dark Ones Closet on Etsy as well. Come on, who doesn't like cool shirts and cool shit? Use the code HORROR13 and save 13% off your order. Would I ever steer you wrong? I'm Danny Knightmare.
I'm Gory B Movie.
And we're Horror Addicts. And we caught a shark and it was this big. Okay, we saw this movie.
Sounds a little fishy to me.
Yeah, well, he's gonna get salty here in a little bit, but we watched the Requin last night, which I guess means white shark?
Yes. It's a very unnecessarily complicated word for a white shark. And I'm going to tell you why. Why that's a terrible name for this movie. Because this movie doesn't have a shark in it until the last 30 minutes.
Oh, but then it does go shark movie. It
goes full shark movie. But I need to tell you guys about something that's really concerning me as somebody who cares about our world, cares about our environment, and I care about the life forms in our world, as we all should. The sharks in these movies are a very particular breed. No, they are not great white or tigers or even hammerheads. They're CGI sharks. Now, these sharks are growing in popularity in our movies. Now, the CGI shark does not behave like a normal shark.
No.
The CGI shark can change its size. It can be massive and it can be small. The CGI shark is pissed off all the time for no reason. You just need to swim by it. The CGI shark wants to eat you. The CGI shark also don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It is the honey badger of sharks. Mm-hmm. So you go to land and you think, oh, okay, I'm safe now, right? Oh, no. CGI shark don't give a fuck. CGI shark will follow you through coral and rocks to get to you.
Haven't you seen the movie Sand Sharks? CGI shark don't give a fuck.
CGI shark don't give a fuck.
They will come after you like no matter what. Like they don't care how much you hurt them. It doesn't matter if they just ate your loved one right in front of you and they should technically be full. They're gonna munch your raft or whatever until they get you to. This is not how sharks behave, people.
CGI sharks do, though.
I know. Hightower Digital Media, thank you for joining us. Brandy had an awesome review or interview with Canadian Jason. Speaking of Canadian Jason, that happened this morning on Instagram, I believe. And yeah, who asked if that was Canadian Jason? Cheers to Fierce. I don't blame you for thinking that. They wear both Jason masks. So Lals actually stole Canadian Jason mask.
Canadian Jason has a hat.
Yes, he has the hunter's flannel red hat. But Lals once stole his mask. Canadian Jason had to get it back, though. But it was good times. Yeah. So.
Hey, Mayan's here. What up?
All right. We both heard that this movie was awful. We've been asking for nominees for the Oscars that are coming up soon.
And for worst movie, this was getting nominated. I've seen a lot of bad shark movies this year alone.
Every year.
Yeah, but the bottom of my list this year is just bad shark movies and bad Christmas movies.
And the thing is, with these shark movies, the bad ones are always made by people with no budget. If you don't have a budget, what business do you have making a shark movie? It's hard to make a good shark movie when you have a budget. Mm-hmm. And people think, oh, well, I've got, your basic download gifts from YouTube program. I can make a shark movie. No, you can't. Don't do it.
I got one of those really bad CGI shark screensavers. We'll just cut to that every time, they're like, there's a shark off camera. And why do people do this? Zombie movies, I get it. Slasher movies, I get it. Those are movies that you can make, and you can make really good ones with no budget, basically.
Exactly.
But sharks?
It only works if you believe the shark is real. And you can't do that unless you have the money to spend on good CGI sharks. The pricey ones, the ones that charge a little bit more money, and you got to get dressed up to see them.
All right, so we watched
Shark. Oh, hey.
What up, Hightower? Thank you. The $1.99. Are you out of your mind? I appreciate that. You watch these awful movies so we don't have to. That's one of the things that we try to do here. It's a trapper's hat. Yes. All right. So I saw, Shark Bait? That was awful.
Ooh,
Had characters that we hated in the sharks. We're like this one, where it doesn't matter. They're CGI. They're just coming after you. We saw The Reef. Same thing. That shark's just out to eat everything inside. It doesn't matter if you're miles away. It just ate somebody. It's going to destroy a dock to try and get a kid that it knows somehow is on the dock. These movies are nuts. This one, okay, then we saw Sharkula. And even though
Sharkula.
I love that song. Sharkula.
I want to learn how to play that in the ukulele.
Sharkula.
I want to learn how to play the ukulele.
It's like they just had someone who already had a song and they just threw that as lyrics on there. But that was probably by far the worst, on a technical aspect. But I found it charming because they had a little shark bat, puppet, and I loved that.
It was a shark that had bat wings, guys.
And they didn't have a bad CGI shark. They actually
Worth
made
the price of admission alone.
A silly-ass puppet. It's not a good movie, but I still found it charming. This one, I'd say, has probably a better budget than the ones we kind of listed. And the first half, I was thinking, okay, why is this so bad? Because the first half of this movie is kind of boring, but it's not that bad. It's about a couple who are, trying to save their marriage. They had a miscarriage and...
Well, no, they had a stillborn.
Oh, a stillborn. Yeah, they had some...
They gave birth.
Yeah, and it didn't end well. And
they're both horrible, but...
So, they're just out on vacation in Vietnam? Yeah, they're in Nam. I always want to go to Vietnam so I can be back in Nam.
Nobody's going to get that joke anymore, honey.
I know. I think Danny DeVito is the last good person to pull that on Sunny in Philadelphia. But yeah, they get one of those fancy, where the hotel's, floating on the water.
Yeah, so we have something like that up in Diablo Lake. Sometimes you can go to places where they call them, like little villas. They're cabins that float on the water. Unfortunately, to save some money, which I don't know why, they're loaded, or maybe it's just the time of year they wanted, but they've rented a cabin in this, water villa that's on the water during monsoon season.
Well, because it was off season of the tourists, and I think maybe
they just wanted to be alone.
And plus, I think because they're going stuff, it wasn't a matter of timing for them. They needed to get away.
But let's get the cabin that floats on the water, the ocean during monsoon season. Mm-hmm.
And this is all very much at the beginning of the movie, but the water gets crazy. The monsoon's happening. Their hotel calls them. Hey, you guys okay? You can change rooms if you want to. No, we're too tired. We're okay. Bad idea. So, thus the movie really begins, and,
I want to tell them about the important thing.
Okay, what's the important thing?
So the important thing is, I don't know when exactly it happened, but sometime in the last decade, Alicia got weird. Really weird. Killing of a sacred deer. She's like, you have to try my chart. And then when she just randomly shoots herself in the head in the lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alicia's weird these days, guys.
And I like it. I'm all
And
for
I
it.
love Alicia. Because, she is, the 90s girl. You can't watch Alicia without thinking about, Clueless and all the good times we had. Remember Excess Baggage? Even when she's in a shitty movie, it's still great because she's in it. You know what I loved? Blast from the Past. That was super cute. She is really good at doing comedy, She is really good at
being a valley girl.
Being a valley girl, doing things that are kind of, even in Sacred Deer and The Lodge, the part she was playing, she can do well. This, she's playing a woman who's grieving the loss of her child and who has to do a lot of screaming and stuff. Now, I also blame the director here because a lot of times less is more. Look at a movie like Gravity, Sandra Bullock's performance. She's not screaming the whole goddamn time. She's scared. Mm-hmm. But, you don't need her to scream at you the whole time to know that she's scared. The director here, I think, was like, more, Alicia, more. Because this whole movie, she's like, ah! And that's exactly how she screams, like, ah! The dialogue is terrible. At one point, she gets help. There's a guy in the water. I'm not spoiling any major plot point for you, but she's like, sir! And then she makes these like weird little squeak noises, like, I was like laughing so hard, guys. No joke. Funniest dang movie I've seen in a long time. They say the two hardest things in this world are make someone laugh and to scare someone. You know what? This movie made me laugh a lot.
I don't think that's what they were going for, but yes, this is one of my votes for best comedy of the year.
Hilarious. I also just love the stupid asinine decisions they make. So this couple, they're already at more of an advantage than a lot of people. I mean, they broke off from the shore. So how far out can they get? And that's why we don't see sharks right away, because contrary to what a lot of movies, even this one will tell you, sharks don't go that close to the shallows unless, like in the movie The Shallows, there's a good reason. So they have what's basically a raft out of this old cabin, but it's sizable.
It's right there on the poster.
It's sizable enough that from a plane you can see that. So if someone is looking for them, they're gonna see it. So now we play the waiting game. They're also reasonably dry and safe from things in the water. They do something so completely asinine, screw up the good thing they had going, and then you get a situation where it is identical to Titanic. And I will say this for the movie: Alicia shared the damn raft.
Yeah, there was room for Jack.
People.
Jack would have lived.
She good people.
All right. Fairpoint Station says she's the one that chews up and spits food into her kids' mouths.
Yep. Alicia got weird a while ago, guys.
She got a little nutty.
I still love her, though. I just love her.
I think she's a treasure.
Like, I know she's anti-vax and she's, like, doing all these crazy things. Like, I don't want her to babysit my kids.
Yeah.
But I enjoy her hijinks from afar.
Her and Jenny McCarthy can make me laugh. They both can. I wouldn't take any medical advice from them or anything like that.
No.
But you put either one of them in a silly movie and I'll usually laugh. In this
Let's
movie,
talk about the silly movie more.
All right. Well, the first half, like I said, wasn't silly. So I was actually wondering, like, why does everyone hate this so about it? It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was just kind of there.
I want to point out something. So when people complain about the CGI in this movie, you would think, oh, it's the sharks. And then you hear us say the sharks showing in the last 30 minutes. What's the big deal? There's an unnecessary amount of CGI. Mm. The water is CGI. The backgrounds are CGI. They're in this cabin, and you can tell everything beyond the cabin is a CGI backdrop. Like, it's not terrible, but it's just like...
It looks so fake.
It doesn't look real. Yeah. The dolphins are CGI. There's a lot of CGI in this. A lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, the first half... just kind of mediocre. Nothing really bad. Nothing really good. Second half, so bad it's good, though. I have to say.
I thought a lot of... when she starts... and the faces she makes. If you go onto Letterboxd, you can see, like, the poster they have there. It's just one of her, like, crazy, ridiculous faces. Like, the faces she's making, she doesn't look...
weird grunts and squeaks.
Yeah, she seems kind of like, and fair enough, but she does seem like somebody who is losing their mind.
Yeah, which I understand the circumstances of this character, so sure, maybe they would go nuts. I'm not saying she wouldn't.
I don't know. I think they might have thought, okay, the background here isn't bright enough or something, so it could have been a little bit of both. They wanted to make it prettier. I
think for sometimes it's for budget. I think they're on a set some of the times.
The beginning it's at night, and so I think they might have done it just because they didn't know how to light the background.
Yeah. So
they just used like a backdrop.
Yeah. But I don't know. It gets nuts. I actually enjoy
The sharks is definitely about budget.
Oh, yeah. We get to the sharks in like the last.
The shark goes from being regular size to like mammoth. And the shark's crazy. The shark is full on crazy.
She's crazy too, though. I love that about her. Like, her husband is like being attacked by sharks, and like before she even really can fully understand what's happening, she just knows there's sharks around. She grabs this sharp board and jumps into the ocean and starts just stabbing down in the ground.
And she's all like, "You want some more?"
So nuts. They wrote action lines for her to say, like,
oh god, the
suppose you
whole
didn't go like
movie.
hasta la vista.
Even the end of the
Sharky.
movie, like I won't tell you what happens, but basically you're waiting for the ending. There's enough there that you can probably assume you know what's gonna happen, but she's just kind of like, okay, I'm done being in the movie now. And it's like, okay, Alicia, you got another 10 minutes left, hon.
Oh no, there's like, I thought this movie was gonna end and there was still another 15-20 minutes more. Like,
it just keeps on going and going and going.
When you think, she's out of the deep water or whatever the metaphor would be.
Movie Massacre!
What up, Movie Massacre? Rich, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, these damn shark films.
For me, it would be like, CGI sharks. Why'd it have to be CGI sharks?
But they'll chase her into the most shallow, like, ankle-biting water. Then somehow she just ends up back in the ocean, and I'm not going to tell you how.
And here's the thing. Her character has PTSD before all of this.
Yeah,
like,
with blood and water.
She is full on Sally Hardesty batshit by the end of this. Like, there's no helping this woman.
Yeah. Her husband, like, in the very beginning, he just kind of cuts his foot on some coral. Hey, coral. Coral's in this movie. Lots of it. And she gets flashbacks of when she had the stillborn and the blood in the water. And so maybe getting the floating villa was not the way to go. Maybe.
No, and they make a lot of jokes about that too. So the tone's really all over the point. Like, they talk about how they might get divorced. They talk about how they think they might die. They're in this horrible situation. And then they'll be like, oh, remember that one time we went to a block party? And it's like not even a funny story. And they're like, ha 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 ha. And it's just like,
I think the sun's getting to him. But
yeah. Oh my god. There's one scene. They have a bottle of water, and they want to keep it close, obviously, because you don't want to lose your sustenance to the ocean. He's got it on his leg. He goes, ouch! And she's like, are you okay? He's like, it burned my nuts.
Yeah. They realize that you can. If you get like sunlight, it's almost a magnifying glass, and therefore you can burn stuff like your nutsack with a bottle of water in the ocean.
Somebody sat in front of their computer and wrote these lines.
And not gonna give you any like context of what happens in a sense, but at one point when she's like dying of thirst because surrounded by salt water, she sees a big jug of water, and at first I didn't understand why, but she drinks it and goes like almost pukes it back up. Turns out it's a bottle of vodka.
Or moonshine or something.
Something like that.
It's alcohol.
Yeah, it's clear ass alcohol that just burned her mouth. I think that was her reactions. This is the reason why I love it. It's just, you could drink to any time she does just something just bizarre. And you'd be drunk.
Her reactions, her noises, her ah! like ah! Sorry, guys.
She should have shot the bat signal in the
I
air.
was dying laughing watching this. Like, we were watching it in bed. I'm just like cracking up.
And what was it? Open Water 3 would they had a raft.
Yes, they had a cabin.
They had a house. They're floating around in a house.
Yes, I mean the roof's all banged up and there's holes in the wall, but they had
a pretty good structure.
And a structure that you can see from a distance. Like,
I'm not gonna tell you how they, in a sense,
it's
lose
dumb.
it, but there's other ways they could have tried to signal help.
For help. There's a couple times they see help, and they always go to the same thing. And the funny thing is, she says early on in the movie, which the guy seems perfectly nice. I mean, I will say this: the actor they hired, honey, she's with you for your money. You are not cute enough for Alicia. Even crazy Alicia is way too hot for you. Just between us. But at any rate, yeah, they're out there, and she's like, we always do things your way. We always do things your way. That's why we're out here, because you chose this place and stuff, right? She's the one who has the really dumb idea that makes it to where they're completely screwed.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think they should have really just said, hey, when the hotel's like, you cool? They should be like, no, we need a new room.
That's the moral of the story.
Exactly.
And she's even joking about it. She's like, oh, but he had to impress the wife. And it's just like...
They could have...
I would have been like, so where'd you get us a room, honey? You know it's monsoon season, right? Oh, yeah. Or maybe I should change that. Yeah, go change that.
Maybe Google that.
We're sleeping. Someone calls us up and says, yeah, remember how it's monsoon season? You guys want to change your room because we're having a monsoon? We'd be like, all right, let's get dressed and get the heck out of here.
I think the movie, in a sense, tries to say the reason why that happened, though, is that they have, like, no Wi-Fi, and that's why she has to go to this one restaurant to finally reach her mom over the phone and stuff, and finally they have Wi-Fi, but maybe you should Google it there. Even that, the restaurant then tells you it's monsoon. I guess that they didn't have a warning before they left,
They could have gotten another place. So they say that he chose this place because he's trying to impress her. Because they're grieving, they're trying to repair their marriage, but there was other places they could have stayed.
Well, like I said, once the water gets choppy, they should have got out.
The water got chompy.
They were given a warning, but like, nah, we're good. All right.
I will say this is the most entertaining shark movie I watched. Is it, you know, like, maybe, what was that one? The Reef 2? Technically, I guess the visuals were a little bit better, but that movie was dull.
And it had its own
This
problems.
one, I was laughing all throughout. So it's absolutely terrible, but this was so bad it's good fun for sure.
The Reef, whatever, that one's, you know, a little more character driven, but the shark is still just an obsessed killing machine. And, you know, when you remember how your friend or sister was murdered, you somehow remember it by seeing what she saw. So there's a lot going on that was wrong with that movie, too. Shark bait. I hated all the characters. They're idiots, and they pretty much had it coming. And once again, the sharks are CGI crazy in that. Sharkula, charming, but really poorly made, like on a technical aspect. And then this one, where the first half is okay, but it's not entertaining really. And then the second half is not okay, but it's very entertaining. So, it is probably my favorite shark movie of the year. I'm still going to have to say...
Yes. Drinking game with friends. Do it.
Yes, that's how you watch this movie. You laugh at what's going on. I hate to say it, but you have to have a funny, dark sense of humor to enjoy this. You need to laugh at their misfortune.
You need to enjoy so bad it's good stuff to have a good time with this.
Because I know it's like mean to laugh at
you
people's
have to
misfortune.
enjoy bad performances. You have to enjoy dumb dialogue. You have to enjoy poor character decisions. If none of these things sound like fun for you, you should not watch this movie. But if they do sound like fun for you, you should check it out.
Maybe order some sushi and get some alcohol and just have fun with your friends.
I watched this without alcohol. Dry as a bone.
Still laughed.
It was amazing.
Right? No, this movie is hilarious, if anything. I give it that. It's not its intention, but it's probably my favorite shark movie of the year just because I was laughing so hard.
It was my sides were hurting.
Yeah. So... I don't know. I'm going to say see it if you're into so bad it's good. Otherwise, it's just a bad shark movie. Skip it.
Yeah. Or you just want to see what Alicia is doing these days.
Yeah.
She's doing this.
She needs the money. She needs to get out of the water. She needs to go relax.
This one was on, I think it was on Hulu.
Hulu, yes.
Hulu.
I believe you can watch this on
Hulu.
Hulu. All right. Well, yeah, you got to have a dark sense of humor for this because, like I said, I'm laughing at their misfortune, but it's mostly because just the dumb ways they have their misfortune.
I was mostly laughing at her performances,
Exactly.
her facial expressions, her reactions.
Reactions, especially.
She was hilarious. Like, I didn't really think of it as a dark sense of humor kind of thing because I really wasn't buying into any of this. It just seemed like they were like, okay, Alicia, you on the raft? Okay, cool. Okay, now imagine a shark's coming at you. And she's like, ah!
Now, imagine the shark's coming at you, but you have a weapon.
You want some more? You want some more?
Perfect. We'll get the rest in post.
Lovely. Great. One take.
I think they spent all their money on her. Those sharks looked awful. Like, the dolphins didn't look awful, but they were very CGI.
Maybe that's why the sharks are so pissed. They realize she's getting paid more.
Yeah, right? Yeah, definitely yeah. And it's just funny because it's like, and then this happened to Alicia Silverstone. And then this happened to Alicia Silverstone. And then this happened to... That's just the movie after a while. You're like, shouldn't this...
It doesn't have like a 3-act structure at all. It's just one thing after another happens. It's like
half.
Alicia's very bad, worst, horrible day ever.
Yeah. Exactly. Because you're just expecting it to end after each time one of these bad things happens to her, and she...
Oh, can you imagine if they did play one of those Aerosmith songs? I was crying when I met you.
Yeah.
Now I'm dying to forget you. God, those Aerosmith videos, they slapped, guys.
When she jumps off the bridge, but then it's like, that would have broke her spine.
She was on a bungee cord.
It wasn't a bungee cord, it was like a rope. Whatever. It was good times, though. And then she was Batgirl out of them for no reason.
We don't talk about that, ever. We talk about The Crush. That one ruled.
Yeah, I like that one.
I just got that one on Blu-ray.
So, I don't know. This was probably the funniest shark movie I've seen since, like, Sharknado 3 or something. I liked 2 and 3. None of those movies.
It's the funniest one I've seen since Open Water 3.
Oh, yeah.
They had a raft!
That one's sharks, to the credit of Open Water 3, the sharks look good in that movie.
That's
Can't
true.
say they acted particularly... They didn't act as bad as this, though. They didn't, like, kill themselves on coral just to eat anybody in sight.
I've seen 2 shark movies this year where sharks go into rocky or coral, infested areas to attack human beings.
That are walking in the water where it's only up to their knees.
They don't have shells. They have soft underbellies.
They don't do that.
But CGI shark don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck.
They're like, they've evolved from the cartoon sharks that were like in The Little Mermaid and stuff.
Like, what was it? Land sharks?
Yeah.
The ones where they're really big?
Oh, that one too, yeah.
Surf sharks?
Street sharks.
Street sharks! Thank you!
This movie's jawsome.
Ah!
They actually, I hear they might reboot Street Sharks.
Kick ass, dude!
That was a gritty live action superhero
that's
movie.
what I want in my life. With some bad CGI.
But they bite people and there's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Bale's moody.
Oh, love it. I hope Christian Bale plays all the sharks.
I hope he... Well, no, I want Chris Pratt to voice them all. And I want Christian Bale to be the evil mad scientist, Dr. Piranha.
Sounds great. You should just start working on that. Start doing it.
All right, well, before the sharks come after us... Cut.
Chomp!
Chomp!